civil rights movement was first a fundamental movement. It said we can no longer treat blacks different than whites in terms of equal rights. That's a fundamental movement. All the political stuff was also there, but the political movement needs the fundamental movement. The fundamental needs the political movement because the fundamental movement identifies something that is fundamentally immoral, not right, not fair, that we can't do anymore. The women's movement is the fundamental movement. We've matured to where we know it is not right. It's not fair, it's not good, it's not moral to treat women different than men in terms of equal rights. The environmental movement is a fundamental movement first. We all agree that we have matured to where we cannot have our children's children not have an earth. That's a fundamental movement. So we want to identify what is the fundamental movement as well as the political movement. Now everybody here knows what Bernie's really deep fundamental movement is. And that fundamental movement is, before I say that, I'm going to make it really clear. If you can see my hands, look at my hands. Anytime two people come together, they have two choices: to compete or to cooperate. If they choose to compete, they're in a constant state of conflict. If they choose to cooperate, they have used their human skill of self-consciousness to make the agreement to give priority to the common good of the two of them as if they are two parts of a whole. We call this friendship, or romantic love, or partnership. But here's the important point. If more than two people come together, if many people come together, and they agree to cooperate rather than to compete, they have agreed, all of them, to give priority to the common good of all of them. We call it a society. All right? We call that a society. Doesn't make any difference how the society is structured. As a group of friends, as a village, as a corporation, or as a state. Whether democratic, whatever. Now here's the important point. People on Wall Street and in corporations think they have been granted an exemption to this fundamental rule of a society. The fundamental rule is that you must have your priority be the common good, and they believe that it's okay for their priority to be the financial interest of a few people called the shareholders. That is immoral. That's unacceptable in a society. That is technically a crime. That is a crime. Now, here's the next thing I want you to understand of what's going on Wall Street. I'm on the board of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. All right? Everybody shout out your favorite flavor. Hey, there you go. Hey, mine's Tonight Dough. If you haven't tried Tonight Dough, it's new. Get it. But here's the thing. The number one thing going on Wall Street, what is all that merger acquisition activity about? I'm very involved with Wall Street. I'm also one of the founders of a family of social funds called the Calvert Mutual Funds. And what's going on Wall Street is that all that merger and acquisition activity is to become number one or two in your product line. We live in the information age. It's not necessary to talk to your competitor to cooperate with them. And how do they do that? They match each other's price increases. Let me shout out some duopoly monopolies you're all aware of. And when I tell you the two companies, I want you both to scream, all of you to scream, duopoly, monopoly, because the most important thing for us to change business is we have to become aware of this fundamental social injustice. Gandhi taught us, in order to have a successful movement, you must confront a fundamental social injustice. Well, this is a social injustice, and it's being blinded. They tell us they're giving priority to the competition. But competition is not the priority on Wall Street anymore in corporate America. The priority is to become a duopoly monopoly and then to primarily cooperate and secondly compete. Okay, shout duopoly monopoly when I shout these companies out. Pepsi, Coca-Cola. CVS, Walgreens. AT&T, Verizon. UPS, FedEx. What was the other one I was going to throw out there? I forgot. I could shout so many of them out. But here's the other problem, everybody. We live in the information age. We live in the information age. So we all have access to nearly all information. So these companies don't have to talk to each other. I'm on the board of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. Ben & Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs, we control 82% of the super premium ice cream market in the United States. We have a legal duopoly monopoly. We regularly match each other's price increases. You can't avoid it today. It's the way the market works. The market is... Hello, guys. So Ben & Jerry's regularly match each other's price increases. So does CVS, Walgreens. So does Google, Apple. They all do this, everybody. This is the #1 priority going on in Wall Street. Now, how are we going to change this? I'm a Gandhi. I believe in using love, invitation, and liberation. I also believe the process is the end, so I want to use that process. I also believe that we don't want to disrupt free markets and individual freedom. We want to keep individual free markets. We don't want some paternalistic thing coming in here and solving this problem for us. We want to solve it ourselves. So, here's my wild idea. And I've gotten together with a group of business students at the University of Massachusetts, and we put this together onto a website. The website is called commongoodcapitalism.org. You can go, that's the name that the kids came up with for it. You can go check it out, and I want everybody to go and join. Here's the purpose of this movement. The purpose of this movement is to make all the people in the corporate America and Wall Street understand that to give priority to anything other than the common good is immoral and it's a crime. So you have to switch to giving priority to the common good. Now, practically, how are you going to get them to do that? We need to make the invitation so damn attractive that they can't resist it. So here's the model we're going to use. It's not a new idea. We're going to use the sports league model. The National Basketball Association, the National Football, all large and small leagues. What do? The competitors get together, they reach agreement on the rules of play, and then they monitor with referees to make sure they do it. Okay, here's how we'll use that model. Let's have the competitors, especially easy now. So for instance, Ben & Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs, we could get together with the smaller producers of super premium ice cream. We could have a meeting. We can have some public officials and some representatives of the citizenry in the meeting. They're there to be able to report afterwards that this was not collusion for self-interest. They really did make agreements for the common good, like having the minimum wage be a livable wage. Have the packaging be environmentally loving. Even agreeing to have a percentage of net profits each year donated to reduce poverty. Whatever they agree to, they can agree to it, but then it's made public. And then here's the other couple pieces. Every year, each one of the companies provides the public a common good audit by third parties, the same way financial audits are done. The big four companies are already doing some social audits, so they can do this. So now we have the public participating in making these agreements in the private sector, totally open and transparent. And so what we've done is we have liberated our brothers and sisters that are stuck in that immoral system that they feel that they have to stay in order to survive. Those are our brothers and sisters. We want to liberate those people. They're not evil people. They're people who are stuck, thinking they need to make more money to survive.
Is it going to be like...
Now, your caution on this might be, wait a minute, we can't trust those corporations to get together to do this. They're all criminals or some kind of thing like that. Folks, the Justice Department cannot solve this problem. The Justice Department cannot break up these companies and put them, and put them into 2 or 3 companies. Why? For 2 reasons. One, because of the information age, more than 2 companies to do it. Some of you may have gotten here on one of the 4 biggest airlines: Delta, United, American Southwest. These 4 airlines now control most of the flights in the United States. It's a quadruple duopoly. It's a quadruple monopoly. So the Justice Department can't break it up because of the information age. They don't have to talk to each other. They can still match each other's price increases. So we're going to have to solve it in the private sector, whether we like it or not. Now, the nice thing about that is that eventually the people on the right will join us.